Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the public hearing for the 2026-2027 budget certification. The state of Iowa has made modifications to the process for school districts to certify their annual budget. Part of that change requires school districts to submit their maximum property tax to the county treasurer no later than March 5th. The county treasurer will mail a statement to each county resident with the proposed property tax rate for the city, county, and public school district. Yep. So now I declare this public meeting open. And if anyone would like to comment on this public hearing, you can step to the microphone, make sure the green light is on, and start by stating your name and address. Can you make sure that green light is on, please?
There it is. Sorry. Anyway, do I have to repeat that? Thanks. First off, I'd like to say don't start my 3 minutes. Ready? Okay. First off, I'd like to say, and it's to people who are maybe watching online, I am extremely so sorry to all of the people who have lost their jobs in this district, people who I've worked with for many, many years, and I just feel so bad, and there is nothing that you can say to them, so I just want to make sure to say that. I've been working at schools during this agonizing time of people reapplying for jobs they've held for 20 to 30 years. To hear, once those cuts have been made, that a department that made cuts is already starting to think of hiring someone is so disheartening.
Mrs. Wheeler, this portion of the meeting is for the budget certification,
Not public comments.
not public comments.
so
There will be
sorry.
but there will be an opportunity later in the meeting for public comments. So this is just for the budget recertification, or budget certification, excuse me. Is there anyone that would like to address the board for the budget certification portion? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the budget certification portion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Just to inform you all, we'll take a brief recess. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor of adjournment, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. So at this time, we'll take a brief recess. It was published that our regularly scheduled board meeting will start at 5:30 p.m. and we have to stick to that time. So our regularly scheduled board meeting will begin at 5:30 p.m. So we'll take a short recess. Thank you all. Oh, we'll start on time. JT. Good afternoon. I would like to call the March 30th board meeting to action and ask that you join in a moment of silence. Thank you. And now would you please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we will have Director Mills read our mission statement.
The Waterloo schools will set the standard for urban education by ensuring that every student is given the comprehensive support and diverse experiences needed to graduate with a diploma and a plan.
Thank you, Director Mills. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing for the 2026-2027 school district calendar. In accordance with Iowa Code 279.10, a public hearing is required prior to adopting the school district calendar. The public hearing for the 2026-2027 school year will be held now, March 30th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. in the ESC boardroom. If there is anyone, So at this time, I declare the public hearing open. If there was anyone that would like to speak to the board about the school calendar, the 2026-2027 district calendar, please step up to the microphone, make sure the green light is on, start by stating your name and address. I don't see any movement. All right. Can I get a motion to close the school district calendar?
So moved.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. This brings us to the next item on our agenda. It's a school presentation from Becker Elementary School. And there you go. I see Principal Brandy Welch step into the microphone. And this is an opportunity for the board and the community to hear all the great things that are happening in our school buildings. And today we're excited to hear the things that are happening at Becker Elementary School.
Hi, good evening, everybody. We have a big group of students here who we're super proud of. They are our student lighthouse team and they represent the leaders in our building. These are fifth graders who are working really hard to work through problems that we see every day and create solutions to them. A lot of that comes through service learning also. They've been working really hard on this presentation and they're super excited. And I just need to shout out really quickly two staff members who have been working with them, Katie Rice and Amanda Noble. Hey guys, come on up. Don't be nervous, come on. And if you all will allow us just a moment, we want to plug in a presentation that they've made, okay? Thank you. We're going to go off script a little bit. Can I awkwardly ask that we switch places maybe with Kingsley Elementary? It sounds like our students who are part of this presentation and who have the actual presentation are 20 seconds away from getting here. Is that okay?
That's okay with us. Is it okay with Kingsley? Yep, we're ready to go.
Okay, we apologize and we'll
Yep,
be right
no
back.
worries,
We're going to
no
regroup.
worries.
All right, thank you.
Good, good, good. I love the teamwork. So this brings us to item 8 on the agenda, and this is just for information only. We have now Kingsley Elementary School with their school presentation.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, everybody. I'm super happy to be here tonight because there's Becker families, and I came from Becker before Kingsley and Kingsley families, so it's super fun to be full circle. I want to introduce real quick the adults with me, and the students are going to introduce themselves, but Abby Norgren, principal at Kingsley. I have Trish Carlson, our lead teacher, and Mr. Bavnow, who is our music teacher and the man of many hats, as you know if you know him. He does a lot for our building. And then we brought a couple of students who will be the main part of our presentation and the coolest part of our presentation, obviously. Today, we want to talk to you about goal setting, but also I would be remiss to not give some highlights over the school year about things that Kingsley has done. So just a couple of things I wanted to point out to you all. First of all, Mr. Babnow was Leader Valley Coordinator of the Year. So we were able to celebrate him at the Leader Valley Gala, which is super cool. Kingsley already has had a lot of really great things going on, so I just added some things that were changed up this year a little bit. So we had team leaders join us in our summer retreat this year to help with building our goals over the year, to give feedback on what we should work on. We've gotten awards from the Waterloo Community Foundation. We super appreciate all of their support for us. We've had a Living Our Values Award winner celebrated, Miss Sitzman, and there is another one coming that I secretly know about, so another person soon will be celebrated. We brought in a teaching artist for the first year at Kingsley. Ruben Sack came and worked with our 3rd grade. This year we started our Family Friday. That's a Leader in Me initiative, but it has gone over really well in just building community and helping our students to feel supported and like they know multiple adults and other students across the building. Our PTO is amazing. I don't know if you've heard this, but they are the most supportive, not that they aren't at other schools, but they are the most supportive group of people, and they also run events for us. So they have run our read-in, they've helped support us with that, an event at Palmer's, and then coming up soon will be our ice cream social, the big end-of-year celebration. They also support our teachers with food because we know that's always helpful, and then grant donations. So I just want to shout them out as well. And then this year we've just had an amazing turnout with our Battle of the Books. So the AEA wasn't even going to do the Battle of the Books this year, and then we ended up having 50 students participating in it. So it did end up happening, and I have some announcements that will be shared tomorrow at school with how our students have done with that. But today we want to talk to you about goal setting and how this is just run throughout Kingsley, from students to the staff.
Hi, good evening. So if you ever walk into the building of Kingsley, one of the first things that you'll see when you walk through the doors is a very visible, transparent, clear, rectangular prism with an opening on the end, which is called our wig catcher, and that stands for Wildly Important Goals. This is something that Kingsley has been working on a lot. I would say kind of coming back to it probably the last 4 or 5 years. And so what's beautiful about it is students and staff set goals at Kingsley, and then when we meet those goals, there are balls that are put into that wig catcher, and we are able to celebrate as an entire building. What we've done this year a little bit is kind of focused on a little bit of different types of goal setting. So it could be attendance. A lot of the work that we do comes from our district goals or SIP goals that we have put in place. So again, you'll see attendance, you could see academics. ST math is very, very popular, probably at multiple schools within the district. But one of the big pieces that we took on this year to enhance our Leader in Me within the building is really tracking our lead measures. And so we'll kind of share that, but the visual that's up there, our students make a goal, and then what that means is they choose 2 to 3 lead measures of what are they going to do in order to meet that goal. And so what we really want them to do is track it each day. Like, did I do these things? Because in the end, if they're doing those things, they should meet that goal. So this is just an example of, I believe it's a first grader actually, and you'll see the different colored marks on there, and each one of those marks represents one of their lead measures that they are actually tracking. So our littlest students, our youngest students, are so capable of doing this work, and that's why we feel like it's so important, and it does impact our student achievement within our building. Then we also have a scoreboard, is what we call that. It is a building-wide scoreboard that we put up so that as people come to our building, they see where we have met and where we have grown in our lead measures. And so we've kind of done it, we track it every month, and you'll kind of see this is a couple months behind when we took this picture, but you will notice that we do this every single day. Not only is it important for our students to be tracking goals, it is important for us as the adults in the building to also be modeling that for our kids. And so our staff have done a couple of different ways of tracking goals. One of them is really looking at our high trust behaviors. What are we doing as a staff to create a culture where we want everyone to be? We have people, instructional assistants, that are tracking their attendance. So if that's a goal that they had that maybe they weren't really great at last year, they are tracking that for this year. So we kind of do it based on their professional development plan. We do it based on our SIP, but we just really want our staff to model what we are wanting from our students.
Yes, so as Ms. Carlson was saying, so with these scoreboards, this is an example of what looks like for attendance. We want them to be public, and we want to make sure that everyone has access to them, and they're updated daily. And so that is one of our attendance scoreboards. So every day you see a pumpkin in October, that was a day that grade had 95% attendance for that day. And then you'll see the days we didn't meet it, we actually put the percentage there. So a lot, like we're very close, like in the upper 90s. Just for whatever reason, we had enough kids where we didn't meet that goal. So one of the things that we really have focused on is tracking growth. Proficiency is great, but growth is really what we're aiming for. And that's in all goal areas, attendance, academics, and everything. And one of the aspects with these scoreboards that we really emphasize is making sure that it's all student directed and student led. We have students that go around every day updating the scoreboards, and I know it's a new month because they come to my room, they're like, we need your whiteboard cleaner. And I'm like, okay, here you go, take it. So it's definitely student directed and student led. And one of the things that the leader in me and all this goal setting has really helped us do is celebrate the amazing accomplishments our students and staff have met. So with that, that's the wig catcher, by the way, right there next to Gloria. And so you'll see that there are different size balls. The smallest are individual goals. The next size up is a classroom goal. The next size up is a grade level. And then finally, the biggest ones are building-wide goals. And depending on the goal, it could be different grade to grade or class to class. But the biggest thing is once that wig catcher gets full, our student lighthouse comes together and they get to decide how we want to celebrate as a building. This year in February when it filled up, and we filled it up right before winter break, so when we came back in January, the student lighthouse wanted to serve hot chocolate at recess, so we served hot chocolate at recess. On a Family Friday, we did a kind of a Google Meet bingo day, and they loved that. And then I think the best thing I love is we do a joy cart with our staff, where if it's just a long week, sometimes we have some students come around with a little treat for teachers, and they wanted a student-only joy cart, and they emphasized student-only. It was really awesome. It was a great time. So we have a system where we bring the wig catcher around monthly, and if a student with their tracking has met their goal, then they get to throw in that individual ball. But then at our school-wide assemblies, that's where we get to celebrate grade levels, meeting their attendance goals, reaching those ST math goals, and our building goals as well. And so this is just a little snippet of some things we've seen this year and over the last couple of years. So these lead measures are these little steps that we take every day, but it leads to amazing things. So on the right, that little line graph there is our chronic absenteeism at Kingsley. We started tracking in 2023, our daily attendance and setting attendance goals monthly. And as you can see, we were like sitting at about 22% chronic absenteeism. And right now, as of today, we're gonna be sitting under 8%. So every year we have gone way low. We've found really good growth. And attendance and elementary is a little tricky because it's not really up to the students all the time, but we want to make sure that we let students know that their attendance is really important at Kingsley Elementary and at every school. Another fun little shout out for academics is fourth grade. That's just our quick little fast, like percentage of students who are fast proficient. And if you look at fourth grade, they started the year super high, but then they ended at 88% in the winter, which is above where we wanted them to be by the end of the year. And this is just like a little snapshot of some of the awesome things that we're seeing this year, just through this consistent goal setting, consistently measures. And honestly, that's like the word, is like just that consistency is incredibly important. And we're just seeing the amazing effects right now.
Okay. Now, this is literally just the student's perspective. We did like zero coaching. We're like, what does it mean? They could say anything. So here we go. First up is Maddie.
Hi. Hear me? Hi, I am Madeline Saharith, and I'm a fifth grade student at Kingsley Elementary. There are leadership jobs that students can have, such as lunch cleanup, assembly MC, and assembly setup. Those are only a few jobs. I also have leadership jobs, such as lunch cleanup, which is cleaning up the cafeteria before and after lunch. And I was an assembly MC, which is talking and leading assemblies. I am a member of the Student Lighthouse team, and we have many responsibilities. We decide celebrations when we fill up the wig catcher. We put together school events, and we do a lot more, but we do it all as a team. The wig catcher is a visual goal tracker. We try to fill it up to the top, and every time we do, the Student Lighthouse team decides a celebration for the whole school. WIG stands for Widely Important Goals. Speaking of goals, here at Kingsley, we have goal setting, such as attendance and ST Math. For example, the goal for attendance for each grade level is 95% or higher. This year, I have met my own goal of reaching 100% on ST Math. Goal setting is important to learn because people can set goals they can achieve, and they can make themselves a better person for the future.
Hi, my name is William Weber, and I am a fourth grade student at Kingsley Elementary. My goal this year has been reaching 100% on ST Math. I have currently crushed that goal, and I am currently at 170%. This goal is important to me because it encourages me to work towards the goal, and when we meet our goals, we get to add a ball to the wig catcher. When we fill the wig catcher, we get to add a school-wide celebration.
Hi, I am Lila Shaw. I am a fifth grade student at Kingsley Elementary. Last year I helped set up assemblies, and this year I helped clean the cafeteria before lunch. As a Lighthouse team member, we have many responsibilities and decisions to make for our school, such as what to do for a celebration or what books to put out for a family reading event. Kingsley sets goals for us to achieve, but we also set our own goals. Each student sets their own goal for the year that they can achieve. My goal that I have met this year is getting to 100% in ST Math. Every year, students are taught how to set goals. It is important to learn so you can set a goal you can achieve now and in the future. For example, each student has an attendance goal for the month, which is around 95% or higher. Do you have any questions?
So what are some of the celebrations y'all have picked that you've come up with?
We have done, like, in the past years, we've done like a movie or a dance party in the gym, like all together. Or
Last year they did the jumpy house.
Oh, yeah. We had a
jumpy outfits for the kids.
Mm-hmm. And we have like hot cocoa at recess.
Other than ST Math or attendance, what are some of the other goals that you may have set for yourselves?
A goal I have set for myself in school was that I try to get 100% attendance, but that didn't go exactly how I wanted, but that's okay. And then one outside of school for myself that I've set for myself is for my sports, for softball and for volleyball. I try to make, or like my attitude and effort, I try to make it 100% or even higher.
That's for each of you.
One of my goals inside school, other than 100% on ST math, is also 100% attendance. That hasn't went as I planned, but I'm still up there. One goal outside of school that I have set is getting to state in wrestling.
Okay.
Other goals I have in school than ST Math is getting 100% on a test. I haven't reached that goal yet, but I've been close.
So how have you been able then, because one of you mentioned it, to take that decision-making process and choose a goal? How have you seen yourself use that outside of school now? It's okay. Being here is meeting a goal, so.
Yeah. Well, it just helps me as a person. I feel better about myself when I meet the goals I've set for myself. So it's.
Yeah. Good answer. All right. Are there any more questions? Okay, great job. Yep. Good job, Kingsley. Appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Ready? And now we will have. All right, so now we'll go back to item 6 and have Becker Elementary School give us a little information about all the things they're doing and the great things they're doing at Becker.
Are we okay to plug in here? Okay. Sorry. It's okay.
We just pull cords until something works.
Oh. There you go.
Okay, I'm just gonna put that in the close. And I just drag it over. Can you just drag it this way? Let's get that ready. There it is.
Okay, thanks everyone for your patience and good evening again. I am super excited to be here with our student lighthouse team. Becker Elementary is a Leader in Me school, and as such, we prioritize modeling and teaching about the 7 habits of highly effective people to our students. And the student lighthouse team just represents a group of kids who show that leadership throughout the building and in the community too. They are all here and really excited just to talk about this year, their experiences and kind of how those experiences tie into some of the goals that we've set for school improvement as well. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this off by just talking a little bit about a few of those goals. First and foremost, we all have an attendance goal as part of our school improvement work. Ours is that by June 2026, Becker Elementary will decrease chronic absenteeism from 27% to 22% as measured by our attendance data. And then also we have what we call subgroup data or specific subgroup data. And for us, it is that we will decrease chronic absenteeism for students with IEPs from 36% to 31% as measured by local attendance data. We are on track to meet both of those goals, but some things that we really wanted to celebrate is that for all the students who we are looking to improve attendance from last year to this year, 80% of those students have made growth, meaning that they are at school more often. And also we've been leading the district in year-over-year chronic absenteeism growth for each of those months that's listed, and that just feels like an amazing celebration for our school, something that we're really proud about. But as we think about attendance, we also think, well, what is going on in the building that makes the kids want to be here? And that's what Student Lighthouse is here to talk about. So they are just going to have a celebratory presentation where they basically share all of the things that have been awesome this year and all of the things they love. So without further ado, I am going to hand the mic over to them.
Choose Your Own Adventure. Choose Your Own Adventure is a monthly event. The specialist teacher designs unique activities to make the room fun when we go into the rooms. The art, music, and gym, they made the room, they made stuff in the room for us to use while we're doing our Choose Your Own Adventure. So in gym, one time we had cosmic bowling, and art, we had bracelets, music, we had crayons, and we had make your own music. And they always make the room fun for us.
Buddy classrooms. Buddy classrooms is a thing that we do each year when we pair the upper grade and the lower grade together to make this big classroom. We even did some things like loteria, and also we made gingerbread man cookies, and we made cards too.
Becker News is a video where we learn about teachers and things happening across the schools. Sometimes us fifth grades get to be a part of it.
Gaga Ball. We had a church community come at the end of the day last fall and work till day till night, and all of the grades play to keep the students safe. We have rules.
The Tournament of Books is a school-wide competition where every teacher picks a book and the students vote. Then all the books battle. K through second grade books battle each other, and 3 through fifth grade books battle each other until there's only one book left in K through second and 3 through 5. Then the two books battle each other until there's only one book standing. That's the winner in the school. The Lighthouse team has been doing a very good job in the Tournament of Books, such as collecting the votes, counting the votes, and writing the votes and making announcements.
1,000 Acts of Kindness. 1,000 Acts of Kindness is a school-wide event to spread kindness. We wrote notes and made goodie bags for firefighters. Then other grades made bird feeders and dog chew toys.
Community events is something to help us have fun, ideas to help them at home, to learn. Feels like a school is like a safe place and feels a part of something great. For instance, Literacy Night helps us have ideas to learn and where you get to go home and practice your literacy. Having fun at school is important, and the school gets you to have fun and move around. For example, we have haunted hallways. school is like a safe place because the teachers help you learn and they know what they're doing, so they can help you with your problem or learning. We feel about something great because we get to go after school and get to eat stone soup because we made a doc about stone soup, and then we got to go after school and eat dinner. And then there's Valentine's Day dance where you get to take pictures of yourself and others, like your family, and then you get to do haunted hallways, which is you get to dress up in the costume like Halloweeny, and literacy night is helping you get like plans to like lawn.
Dress up day is where the school dresses up as a certain thing or on a certain day, such as dressing up in relaxing clothes or dressing up as old people on the 100th day of school. We get to do other fun things like dressing up as a teacher.
Student jobs. Student jobs are a responsibility. 100% of the school has gotten selected for a job. When you get selected for a job, that means you got so much responsibilities, but you can have fun at the same time. Like we got some like food bags, boss tents, and also cheer squad.
Yeah. PBI Celebrations is a fun party. Some kids get it if they have less referrals from last month. For example, decreased behavior referrals from 48 to 21 between September and January. Students with less than 3 minors and no major referrals get to celebrate with their friends. This month, we get to celebrate with a virtual field trip.
We got a grant of $2,000 to start our garden from the Waterloo Schools Foundation. The garden is mainly for pollinators that are native to Iowa. 5th grade is learning about pollinators and what they need to survive so we can plant what they need in our garden to help native pollinators grow and thrive in the ecosystems we make for them.
Leader in Me is a subject that we use to be more proactive. Also, we use it to solve conflicts with others, and we learn to work with others more.
Learning, we can come to school to learn our school goal to increase proficiency by 10% by mid-year. Every day we go to UFly. Our groups are based on what we do. We need something we chose up the group, change up the group. Kindergarten is meeting end of the year goal by the end of March.
Okay, that is it for our student presentation. They say thank you to all of you for listening, and do you have any questions for our students?
Yes, we do.
All right, get on up here, guys.
So as you guys are making your way back up to the front, I'm going to ask you, so I want you to think about this. I'm going to ask you this to say your name and your grade. Okay, we'll just leave it simple like that. But one thing I do want to recognize, and this is for the parents as well, and the staff that interacts with these students and puts in the effort to make sure these students are doing well. Sitting in these seats up here, we get to see a lot. And the one thing I noticed as you each said your piece in your speech, when you went to our left, your right, you all encouraged each other. There were hugs, there were fist bumps, there were high fives. We don't always see that, but I just wanted to let you know that we did see you. And I think that just shows, one, it shows character, but it also shows that you care for your fellow classmate and the things that you guys are doing together. It's one thing to get up and be able to, give a presentation, but that just shows that you put your heart into it, that you really care, you genuinely love what you're doing and what you're talking about, but you care about your fellow neighbor and your fellow classmate. And that's huge as you become older and become older, seasoned people like us. when you're learning those things earlier that shows leadership. And I think that's why you guys were chosen, or that you agreed to do this and stand before us. So I do want to commend you, staff as well as students, on that. Keep up that good work. Okay, care about your fellow classmates, care about your buildings, care about your classmates that aren't here, and then ultimately care about your community as well. So we're extremely proud of you, extremely proud of you. Now, we want you guys to say your names and what grade you're in. We'll keep it simple.
My name is Skylar and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Admir and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Liliana and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Corinne and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Jose and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Amelia, I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Scarlett and I'm in 5th grade.
My name's Colette and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Liam and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Styles Barrientos and I'm in 5th grade.
Okay, so before anybody else asks a question, I know we have others ask questions. I normally don't talk that much. One of the questions I want to ask you, so all you guys are in 5th grade, correct? Yes. All right, when you get back to your schools, I want you to start having conversations with your 4th grade classmates, and then have the conversations with them about the things that you're doing in your building, so that you can keep these same things going, because you guys are doing amazing job. Okay, so make sure you let your younger classmates know all the opportunities and all the things that you enjoy about this process. Okay, all right, promise. Okay.
So one thing I noticed was that Miss Welch doesn't step in and quickly try to say a word as you're working through it, or try to prompt you, which I love, because all of you did a fabulous job. So one of the questions I had is, how do you decide what are going to be like ways that you're going to do like the positive affirmations or the positive things for the school? What are you guys going to do? Go to the mic.
So one thing that we love Becker Elementary, because we get to do lots of activities and we likes to see the little kids grow, because we was in kindergarten once and we know how it is, and they always follow us the 5th graders, because we know the 5th graders know that they always watching.
One thing I like about school, or just 5th grade, is I get to help around the school and do the stop signs to help the other kids go and go across the sidewalk.
The one reason I like Becker Elementary is because of these opportunities we have to present to very important people, and yeah.
One thing I like about 5th grade would have to be being able to be in the lighthouse with all my friends and getting to meet awesome people.
One thing I like about 5th grade is that we're the older people, we're the oldest, so the little kids, they know to follow off of us, and I really like Lighthouse.
What I love about fifth grade is kind of creating kind of teaching like the younger kids to follow in our footsteps.
One thing I like about fifth grade is that I can teach others and I can help others when they need it. One thing about what I like about our school is that we have amazing teachers and we get to learn and just get better.
I love fifth grade because I can be in Lighthouse.
The one thing I love about fifth grade is we have fifth grade jobs.
Hey, I just want to congratulate each and every one of you. Literally, if this was a job interview, you would get hired. You would get hired because you know what? You stepped up there and you answered everything nice and confident. And, you know, the fact that you mentioned about paying it forward. So you're paying it forward of helping out the younger students there at your school. So I think you're a great example. You're what this district is. You are literally what this district is about. This is about you. You are our light. And I just want to kind of put that out there and you definitely brightened up my day.
I don't think I've ever seen a group, high school, teachers, staff, that congregate together. Adults, I mean, you genuinely care for each other. And that's amazing in this day and age. So well done. Job well done. Job well done. That's it. Good job.
Oh, man, yeah, they did great. Absolutely great.
I mean, all right, we'll keep it going. That'll be hard to follow. The next item on our agenda is the Waterloo United High School Road construction update. And I see we have Zach Kelly in the back. We have Jamie from the city to give us an update. And this is just for information only on the road construction of the new high school project.
Good evening, everyone. I've got, as Astor had mentioned, I've got my bodyguard, Jamie Knutson with the city. Just wanted to go over the road construction project, what triggered it, kind of the steps that has been involved a part of that. We've had multiple meetings since last year, about once every week, to make sure that this road construction project works for both the city and the district and Larson Construction, that we minimally impact it as much as we can. So when we started the high school project talks and started the design with Envision, it triggered for us a traffic study to be done, just due to the amount of traffic that will be added in that area of what it is currently to when it'll be a high school. So we had HR Green consultant. They did the traffic study for the district. That was our responsibility to do. And of course, once the traffic study was done, it went over to the city for review. But the big picture in that was that we had to have 2-lane and roundabouts was their recommendation. Sorry, Lyle, the roundabouts was their recommendation. But So we've had, like I said, multiple meetings with Foth, who is the engineer that the city hired as part of this. Just making sure, like I said, that the project minimally impacts operations of Central and Larson, and also works with the city. So even Larson Construction was a part of these meetings virtually that we had with Foth. So city's been great to work with as a part of the project. I'll kind of turn it over to Jamie. He can go over, I think everyone has the sheet that was handed out, so he can go over the phasing and what that looks like, and then also who was the lowest bidder and kind of next steps forward.
Good evening, Jamie Knutson, City Engineer for Waterloo. As Zach said, we've spent probably almost a year now going back and forth, having meetings with Foth, our engineer, meeting with the facilities group, with Larson, trying to make sure that obviously we don't want to impact the opening of the school in the fall of 2028. We want to make sure that our road construction is over and done with prior to the school opening. And that's really what focus number one is. Focus number two is this isn't the first time we've ever had to do work around a school. So we know we've got to keep access to the teachers, the students, all of the facilities that go on and all of that. So we spent a fair amount of time coming up with what Zach has handed out as far as the staging and how we're going to try to do things. So the first piece that we're going to start is at Green Hill, coming down to Downing and getting that piece done. That means school will still have access, but they'll have to come in off of Huntington and from the south. We get that section done, then we will move down to the Huntington intersection and then come up to where the new entrance is to the school that's currently there. We'll get that in. Again, school, or everybody will need to come in off of Huntington and come in and out that way. We're leaving room for Larson at the Downing intersection to continue to be able to get in and out to finish construction of that portion of the school. Depending upon how all of this goes, we may get all of Katowski done this year. We will see. The contractor, we have a meeting with the contractor next week, and we'll have a better idea of the schedule at that point in time. But one piece, that piece from Green Hill down to Downing gets done, is open back up, then we'll move to the next piece. So we're not going to have multiple things open at the same or closed at the same time. We get done on Katowski, then we've got to come back and do Huntington. A portion of that of Huntington will be done at the same time as the Huntington-Katowski intersection there. Again, making sure that we are keeping access for Larson to be able to get their large prefab concrete walls brought in on semi and being able to get in to continue the school construction. And then once we get that section done, then we'll finally do the last piece going west all the way over towards the city limits. Again, this is all going to be staged in separate pieces. We'll work with the school to make sure that everybody knows what the staging is going to be, what the detour routes are going to be, and there will be signed detour routes that will be out there all along Green Hill, Huntington, University, Cedar Heights, and Cedar Falls. There's going to be a lot of signs up there. Folks just need to make sure to follow those. Because this construction will, and I know it is a pain, but it's as bad as it is now. It would be worse if we had both high schools and all of those students coming in there and still trying to do construction. So we want to be done and out of there before 28th, and then I won't have to bother any of you around that school again, which is a good thing for everybody. But right now, PCI was the low bid for the project. Right now, the total bid was about, what is it, about 7.7 million in total bid for all of that. Out of that, it's about a 60-40 split, 60% city, 40% schools, which comes in at about 3.1 million for the road portion. There's about $360,000 in engineering costs yet that need to be included on the schools portion for a total of about $3.5 million for the road and the design. one of the things that, one of the questions Lyle had a week ago when we met, engineers do things a little different than the architects. The architects, you get one number for the building. That's what they're charging. Engineers bid everything that they're going to do out there, we measure and pay based on what they measure. So if they're going to put in, a sidewalk, we're going to measure all of that sidewalk, and they're going to get paid just for what they put in, not what's shown on the plans. If they put in more, they're going to get paid a little more. If they put in less, they're going to get paid less. So again, we try to aim for about 5% over under on all these projects. So if there are change orders, which we all hope there aren't any, but if there are change orders, we'll come back to Zach and the facilities group to make sure that they're on board with those costs and all of that. But right now, the schedule, or currently the project as bid is 3 years. Again, the contractor thinks they can maybe accelerate that to 2 years, but again, I'll know more next week when we have our pre-construction meeting with the contractor, as well as the schools, and Larson will be there as well. So currently, right now, the agreement with PCI is on City Council agenda April 6th. So there sounds like maybe they will get started the week of the 13th of April. Again, we'll know a little more towards the end of this week as far as what that schedule is, so we can get everything out to the school so that they know what's going on, and as far as the timing and all of that. So, but right now, that's kind of where we're sitting. My staff will be out there every day doing the inspections on the road, making sure everything's getting done correctly. If there's issues, all you got to do is let us know, or my staff know, and we'll certainly take care of it and deal with it. But it's been a great partnership to this point with the schools, in working with you guys to make sure that this is a project that hopefully works for everybody when it's all said and done. It's just going to be a little bit painful until we get to the end. So I guess if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any.
I appreciate the collaboration with the city on this and the groups. I mean, we had a little bit of back and forth, and you did a great job of listening and hearing us, and and stating your beliefs on what was done here. So appreciate that collaboration and effort, and being a good partner in this. So
anything you can do to keep the rain away, that'll be a good thing too. So if you got an anti-rain dance, that'd be good. So that helps. So.
I was just deciding whether or not to ask some of our people in the area will want to know whether there's dust control or not.
We have that. That'll be part of it. That if it gets to be an issue, yes, we will put water down. Typically, for our road projects, this one is a little different in the fact that most of the underground, the storm sewer, the sanitary sewer, all of that stuff, we don't have to do very much. So for the most part, it's at least the first stage from Green Hill down to Downing. It's pull the paving, grade it, and pave it. So it should go fairly quickly. Some of the other stuff may take a little longer, but yes, if there are dust control concerns, you just have to let us know, but we'll keep an eye on that.
I think, Zach, I know we're working on communications, I think, for this, and probably keep, and I guess not just you, Emily, and whoever else, but, we got Central students, we got WCC students, but it was also not, closest to Downing. Let's not forget our Becker families as well that need to know what's going on too, because that may impact their commute to the school as well. So
absolutely, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one thing that we did talk about. Is this is one thing we need to make sure to communicate, not just, as you said, the Central or WCC Expo students and staff, but also the surrounding, also athletic events. They'll be impacted as well during this. So, and we met with, we meet monthly, I should say, with Central Admin on the campus. That includes Carrie Whelan from Expo and then Whitney from the WCC. So everyone's been aware that this is coming. We also sent an all staff email out last week, just letting districts everyone know that this is coming. We don't know full details of when the start date is. It's all dependent on city council approval. But that is one thing that we're working with the city, and Emily's working with as well, to make sure we get that information posted along with detours. The city will send out communication on their end too that will basically mock that same communication.
All right.
I just had a quick question. What would the city have done with this piece of road if the school wasn't being built?
So the initial intent was to have the road done, or it was on the list to get the road done prior to us hearing anything about the school doing anything out there. The road would have been redone, and it would have been after the fact. The school would be coming in and having to do a bunch of retrofits. But that's when we found out that the school was thinking about going out for referendum and doing all that. I put a hold on doing any work because, again, we need to make sure that we're planning together, and we need to make sure that we're trying to help save as much taxpayer money as we can, because we both are funded through that. So that's how we got to this point. So, and typically one of the things that come up is that I've been asked is, why does the school have to participate in this? Well, that was the whole reason for your traffic study. The traffic study that your engineer determined you needed to do certain improvements. And whether it's the school district or it's a private business that's coming in, we ask that those individuals or businesses help pay for those road improvements. So this is what led us to this point.
Okay, so like if we weren't building the building, you wouldn't be doing anything on that road? Is that what you're saying?
I would be doing it, but it would be doing it a lot differently, because I wouldn't have to do some of the increases based on what the school's putting out there for that.
Is that
with
like
traffic.
the roundabouts? Is that?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Although that roundabout at Huntington is going to be, I think, helpful. I mean, that's kind of a dangerous intersection.
It's one of the things, and both our engineers gave a presentation to the facilities group and let them, and we talked about the roundabouts. It was the same presentation that the Waterloo City Council got. And when you start looking at safety, I live over on Easton Avenue, right behind West High. And I know the facilities folks have heard me say this numerous times. Watching my child grow up there and on Easton, watching those kids speed down Easton, it's scary as a parent. That stretch from Green Hill down to Huntington, that's a half mile, 3/4 mile stretch. You can imagine what those kids would be doing. Mm-hmm. And these roundabouts will make everyone, not just the students, but will make everyone slow down, and it will be much safer through there. And then eventually, depending upon what happens, we've set up the main entrance for the school there to allow for future expansion to the east side. If that's in the future, whatever the school decides to do, it's set up with that roundabout to allow pedestrian traffic across there and do it safely. So again, we're trying to set this up to make sure that it's safe for everybody that's going to be out there using those facilities, whether they're a bicyclist, a pedestrian, or general public riding in a car.
And that's something I was going to ask, and I hope you didn't talk about it when I was not feeling great.
No.
So are there pedestrian walkways then on both
Yes,
sides,
there's
right?
sidewalk along, there's going to be new sidewalk along the east side of Katowski that's going to
I'm really bad with that. Which side does that mean?
the side opposite the school.
Okay.
So there's sidewalk along the school now on
Yeah.
the school side. We're moving that to the other side of the road.
Okay.
But then you're going to have sidewalk that will go all the way down from Green Hill, all the way down to the roundabout, the new entrance into the school there, and collect all of that.
And there'll be like crossing.
Yep, and there'll be, what we're putting in are what they're called, they're the red rapid flashing beacons. So So basically, students can push the button, or anybody, pedestrians can
Yeah.
push the button, and that'll light those up so that people coming into the roundabouts will know that there's going to be a pedestrian present. There are also pedestrian refuge islands in the middle of the roundabout. So if you you only get halfway across, there's a place for pedestrians to be able to stay until it's safe to cross with traffic coming from the other way, rather than having to get across both lanes of traffic at once. So they are very safe, and it is going to be a good improvement as far as safety for
Kinda like
everyone out there.
Fletcher University kind of got that right.
Yep, Fletcher University. If you've been down in front of as far as those red flashing beacons, there's one at University in Green Hill with the trail there. There's also one of them down by the Sportsplex on Jefferson Street. If you've driven through there, there's one there as well. So again, it's to alert traffic that, hey, watch out for pedestrians here, and that's important.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. This has been you mentioned it earlier, but this has been a process. So
it has been, and
appreciate
again,
all you guys' work in making sure this happened.
I think it'll be a good project once it's all said and done, and I think everybody will be happy when we're all done with construction, both of us. So.
Yes. So thank you. Good. And this was just for information only, so we appreciate
absolutely
you guys taking the time
all right.
to inform everyone.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that brings us to the next item on our agenda. This is the opportunity where those who wish to address the school board may do so. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Mrs. Arndorfer will hold up a yellow card when you have 30 seconds remaining and a red card when your time has expired. At that time, I will ask you to conclude your public remarks. Please also keep your comments respectful and constructive. We're all here with the goal of trying to help our students. Please also avoid criticizing the job performance of specific employees of the school district. Personnel matters are confidential and must be handled through the proper channels and not in a public forum. Finally, we provide this as an opportunity for public comments, but it is generally not a back and forth conversation, especially of items not on our agenda. At times, we'll try to help with information before or after the meeting, but we have to proceed with our board meeting agenda items. With that being said, I would like to invite anyone who wishes to address the board this evening to step up to the microphone, make sure the green light is on, and start by stating your name and address.
Okay, going to try it again. My name is Janice Wheeler, 929 Home Park Boulevard. And like I said before, the first thing that I want to publicly say, because I've said it to a lot of people that I've met up with, I'm just sorry about all the downsizing. I'm sorry to people who have lost their jobs. Sorry to people who have put so much time into their jobs and they're just gone. Whatever, take that, whatever. It's just a public, I'm just sorry. I've been working at the school during this agonizing time of people reapplying for jobs that they've had for 20 to 30 years. And today there was, and I'll admit it's probably a rumor, but to hear once these cuts have been made that one of the departments is already planning to hire a person is just really hard to hear. It's just disheartening when you talk about transparency and honesty and everything, and then you hear somebody's already out there picking who they're going to put into a new job. It's just devastating to people who are going through that process of losing theirs. I know that you might say it's a rumor, but when rumors become truth, it's just hard. And we don't know if this one is going to become truth, but it's just tough. And right now it's just a tough time out there. And I just wanted to say that. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Wheeler. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on with our agenda. The next item on our agenda is our consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 6 items. Item 1, approval of minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 special board meeting and March 9th, 2026 regular board meeting. Item 2, personnel appointments and adjustments. Item 3, bills due and payable and bills paid between board meetings. Item 4, East and West High First Robotics Team trip to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Item 5, open enrollment. And item 6, the 2026-2027 school district calendars. Are there any items that board members want to see removed?
2, 4, and 6.
2, 4, 6. Are there any other items that board members want to see removed? Seeing none, can I get a motion to put items 1, 3, and 5 on the table?
Second.
All those in favor of approving items 1, 3, and 5, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. That brings us to item 2, personnel appointments and adjustments. Oh, Jesse, I think we might need you. Real quick. Just for this one. I'll make it quick. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve the personnel items as listed.
So moved.
Got that? All right. And I believe this was just an opportunity. We have a couple of abstentions, at least one. So I think we needed to pull this to get those abstentions.
I also had a quick question for
Yep.
Sam. The TAP positions that are being considered new as behavioral support specialists, is TAP going to work? Is it going to be different next year? Or is this what? Because I didn't know that was how TAP was.
So we
identified.
currently have 2 behavior support specialist positions.
Yeah.
These are additions to that. They are within the TAP program,
Okay.
but they are going to move between buildings as necessary, which is why there's not a location listed there.
So this isn't taking a TAP person away from their TAP responsibilities, right?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, ready to roll?
I just wanted to have an explanation on the new positions.
So we currently have 2 I gotta remember this title, behavior support specialists within the district. They provide support for a lot of our special education programs and students as needed throughout the district. They are, they can be like first responders sometimes if you have maybe something that's a little bit more than what the building is ready to support. We have, obviously, discipline is something that we're working with students with behaviors, specifically at the elementary level. That's something that we are trying to really navigate and help put more supports in for our students. These additional positions are being added because we have not been able to hire a full staff of special education paraeducators. So these positions were considered a little bit more desirable. So it is not necessarily a negative impact on our budget because we already have funds allocated for the paraeducators. So these positions are taking that place. Where it's going to be as part of that TAP program that Stacy mentioned, is they are going to be kind of at the discretion of the special education department to support as needed.
Okay, thank you, Sam. So
Real quick, are the library associates and library positions all squared away? I saw that there's one that's on here, or is this for a different reason? It's at the bottom of the first page.
Yep, so we did have a library assistant that decided they were no longer able to work here, so we were replacing that position.
Okay, so we still don't have, we don't know all the other stuff, how that's fallen into place.
We still have the same number of library associates as we did before.
The library associates has not changed.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just a little more rationale. Sam did a great job. Board, this was and I emailed you during our recess between meetings. There was the email I sent back in December, which is a long time ago, saying, hey, these positions are coming for these behavior positions. Here's our internal dilemma is that I said at that point in late November, we said, there are positions we just can't fill. I think at that time, and special ed wise, and I think at that time, I'm looking at the email you got, or what the data that Sam gave me, was that there was 32 vacant para positions at that time and 6 vacant strategist openings. And I had JT verify the numbers, but that was $1.2 million in special ed funds that we had not used because we hadn't filled those positions. Like, had we been fully staffed, and those are hard to fill positions. And so it just paras, Crystal, you saw it firsthand the day it's like, those are, we've got financial issues. We would love to pay our people more. We simply can't. So how do we create almost like leadership type roles within the para ranks for behavior? And so these are kind of like behavior. These are what it turned into was kind of like leadership type roles within the paras. That's a little bit more pay. They would serve multiple buildings and it would be desirable. It would be easier to fill those positions. So it was kind of, instead of the para openings that we currently have, this would give us a chance to still meet the needs of some of the behavior. Jonathan, we were talking about this during the break, right? About how do we continue to make sure we're meeting the behavioral needs of our students. And this was a brainstorm we had after scratching our heads for a long time. So we're super excited. And we do have 2 of these positions currently in the district, which you talked about a little bit. So, and had relatively good success with them.
Oh, 2 of the TAP people who are doing that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The TAP's a little confusing even to me, because I think of TAP as like as the secondary, but either way.
Are these for like elementary?
I think they'll be focused mostly at elementary, and they could be at middle school as well.
Okay. Yeah, because if I remember, TAP really focuses more on like Jared was saying, like, how are we going to get you in the job, right? In the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
Nope, you're good. You're good. We got it. Okay. Any opposed? Chair votes aye with 1 abstention. Jesse, you can head out if you need to. I was trying to get you out here a little earlier. That brings us to the next item, item 4, East and West High first robotics trip to St. Cloud, Minnesota. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve travel for East and West High Schools' first robotic teams to St. Cloud, Minnesota from April 8th through 11th, 2026 to compete in the Granite City First Robotics Competition Regional.
So moved.
Second?
And I see we have the famous Dick Herbert here and a student.
All right, so unlike normal, I have a hoarse throat because we had all those 4th graders cheering on Friday at the regional. If you weren't there, you missed it. We'll get you some video. So Dick Herban, 120 Magnolia Drive, Cedar Falls, but I love this place. We brought a student today, so if you have any questions about our trip, this young lady's going to answer them. Would you introduce yourself?
Sabina Han Meacham, 9th grade at West High.
I don't know if you want to bring up the presentation real quick.
We have it. Yeah, we have it.
Oh, you have it in front of you?
Yeah, we have it.
I just need to make one correction. We said the total trip was going to be $6,000. That was in error by about $5,000. That didn't include money that we'd already spent with the registration and some other stuff that's been already paid for us. So the entire trip's going to be a little over $11,000, unless these kids like to eat a lot more. All that money is already in our donations account that we have accumulated from various years. So the entire trip is already covered. I don't know if you have any questions, because I don't like to answer questions. That's why I brought a student.
So you have 11 going, is that correct? We'll let you answer them.
Sure. So we have 11
students. No, I mean, I was pointing to her, I'm sorry.
Oh, just say yes.
Yes.
She didn't see the presentation, so.
Did you guys have to fundraise or anything, or is this money that was in there?
We have money given from our sponsors that we frequently communicate with.
That's awesome.
So just a little more details. We have We have 2 students from East and 9 from West. We have very stringent grade requirements. So on the team total, there's over 20 students. But for travel out of state, we have a weekly average of number of hours they need to commit. We have 3 outreach events that they must have attended and participated in, not just showed up. And no one can have Ds or Fs for our competitions. So these 11 students met those requirements, so we're happy to bring them along. We wish we had more, but the students know what they have to do, and if they put in the effort, they get the reward. If they don't, I guess they get to watch it on YouTube.
Are those requirements that are through FIRST, or are those ones that we have put in?
No, these are ones that we put in place when we created our code of conduct last year.
I love it. Absolutely love it. You're going to have a ball. You're taking Nasri?
Of course.
Okay.
So just one last thing. So we competed this last Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We came in ranked 20th out of 53 teams, and we won the prestigious sustainability reward. And why don't you describe just some elements of that?
We spoke about how our pipeline of visiting elementary schools like Becker and Kingsley. We even visit the ice cream social annually. And this influences children to be able to join our high school first events and program. We also do a lot of environmental sustainability, such as a composter and recycling old materials that us and the community may have already used multiple times before. And I believe that is all.
Financial.
The recycled
Financial.
stuff, is that, again, is that part of like the project you do?
Yes, both part of the project and part for instance, we may have plant leftovers that we can put into a composter.
Have you been feeding it worms?
Not worms, just whatever we had.
So who are your primary sponsors?
We are sponsored by John Deere, you guys, the Waterloo School District, Mid-American Energy Foundation, and Dick Herban.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Are there any more questions? Thanks for being patient with us as well.
It's fine, I don't really mind.
So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Good luck, have fun.
Thank you very much, and we'll be back with our end-of-year
Yes.
celebration as normal. And
Yes.
bringing the robots to demonstrate.
Yes, nice.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Have fun.
You did a great job.
All right, that brings us to the next item on our consent agenda, item 6, school district, this 2026-2027 school district calendars. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve the 2026-2027 proposed school district calendars.
So moved.
Second?
And I don't remember who pulled this. Okay.
I'm just wondering if the dates that are on here, Sam, are ones that if things in negotiations don't end up with you losing days, is this that calendar, or does this take it into account?
So right now, this is based on a 190-day teacher contract. Okay. So that would be 190, well, not 190, but 172 student days, based on how negotiations go, starting with the WEA and WESP, that could adjust the number of contract days that they're working down to. But their initial proposal was 188, ours was 185. So we'll see where that lands. But then if that comes to be the agreement in negotiations, we would amend these calendars.
Okay.
Good question, Stacy. Thank you. All right, so all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. That ends our consent agenda this evening. The next item on our agenda is the Waterloo United Athletic Conference. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve participation of the Waterloo United Titans in the Mississippi Valley Conference beginning with the 2028-2029 school year. And I see we have Mr. Tom Olsis, Athletic Director at West High, and Mr. Josh Payton, who is the Director of Secondary Education and Athletics, to give us a little bit more information on this.
Yeah, so thank you tonight.
We need. Oh, yeah. While you.
Second.
Let's put it on the table first. We got Director Mills and Director. I get excited about athletics. And Director Matlock. Thank you. Go ahead, fellas.
Perfect. So thank you to the board. We just wanted to come up and just share a little bit with everyone how we came to the conclusion. We went to multiple stakeholders. So we went to our high school athletic coaches, sent a survey out to them, said, hey, we got two options here with Iowa Alliance, which is where East is with their current athletic conference, and then West High with the Mississippi Valley. But we didn't want to just go, do you want this or this? We also wanted to find out why. So we did ask 4 other questions. We want to know the importance of conference stability, overall competition levels, geography and travel time, and then the last was the lower level opportunities for competition.
What was the first one?
Yep, it was conference stability. Okay. So what we found with our coaches, 92% found had either a 3 or 4 ranking in our form of the conference stability being extremely important. Overall competition level is at 96%. And then geography and travel time was at 88, and then lower level competition was at 67%. So that just kind of gave us that foundational piece of then we asked them, which is a conference that you would like to see Waterloo United join, which has been a unique situation. We've had a lot of conversations with Tim and Tom and the governing bodies of both conferences and the state of how do we even go about doing this? Because if you remember about 4 years ago when you approved East High to join the Iowa Alliance, we had to go through a little bit more of a formal process and getting approval from that conference, from the Iowa Alliance, to see if we could even join. Where right now we're between 2 conferences that already have Waterloo teams and schools that are a part of it. So it was just transitioning really the name, and also any of our combined programs, that we have a shared agreement with West and East, and then they go under West High for the MVC. So our combined programs already are competing with the MVC. But what we found was that 92% of our coaches supported joining the MVC, and then what was our community? 85% of our community stakeholders, which Tim and Tom reached out to both the East and West side of the town and just got their input that way also. So this is our formal approach to say here's what we're recommending for the fall of 28-29 start of the season for the Waterloo United Athletic Conference would be the Mississippi Valley Conference.
When you sent these surveys out and you got the responses, I see the lower level percentage is quite lower than the rest of the percentages. Was there reasons given on the lower level, and why do you think that those percentages were quite lower than everyone else?
It seemed like in the coaches survey that the coaches, we do our lower level schedules in a variety of ways. There are some schedules that are just straight, they'll play like at the same time as play the same team that the varsity is playing. It may be the same night, or it could be at opposite sites depending on what the sport is. Traditionally, freshman contest, for a lot of years, we just did those locally. Like at West High, we started playing freshman boys basketball games in the last couple of years against the MVC opponents. I just think it was farther down on their radar, and they weren't thinking about it as much, knowing, well, you're going to find lower level games eventually. In some way, because with the Alliance, with their basketball nights, they'll play everybody on one night. We play opposite sites a lot of times in the MVC, but like the last 2 years, we've done a lot of 9th, 10th varsity nights for boys basketball. In the MVC, they're also, because that was another subject that came up a little bit, because some people really like having everybody together on those mega nights, is what the Alliance calls them. And there's really in the last month, our last MVC AD meeting, a lot of the schools are talking about that and organizing. We're not doing that as the schedule, but schools are talking to each other and scheduling some of those. So a lot of schools are open to doing that.
So when you say those conversations, are those doubleheader girl boy, or is that all 3 levels or 4 levels of girl
Right
four
now,
level boy?
like at the MVC, because of what a lot of the basketball schedule looks like for example, we've added for next year against Dubuque Hempstead, we play them once. Normally it's opposite sites next year, and the girls were set to be at West and the boys on the road, or vice versa. But what we're going to do next year is we're going to play JV girls and sophomore boys, and then varsity girls and varsity boys at Hempstead. And then in year 2 of the schedule, they'll come to Waterloo for that. So, and we may add another couple of those as we talk with each other, because the coaches are open to doing it. Yeah.
So this includes, like, how's ninth grade going to work with high school athletics? Do we know yet? If that's a no, it's okay.
Well, with like the 9th grade sports, I mean, realistically, looking at what the numbers look like traditionally and what like programming looks like, we should have a volleyball team, 9th grade team at West and one at East, because traditionally we do. That's the plan, the hope going forward. Boys basketball, we typically have. I mean, we should have more than enough boys for a boys basketball 9th grade team at both sites. A lot of the other sports, most of the other sports, and we leave football out of this conversation for a little bit.
Okay.
Wrestling, track, cross country, soccer, those sports, everybody practices together, 9 through 12. They may have a couple shifts, but there's not like a separate 9th grade team for those sports. Baseball and softball, realistically, we'll probably have one 9th grade baseball team, just based on how many kids are typically. We may or may not need 8th graders or allow 8th graders, just depending on what the numbers look like. We're hoping that once we go together, we'll be able to have a JV2 girls basketball team consistently, and then a similar thing with softball, just because a lot of times that's really up and down.
More specifically, I think, if I'm getting what Director Mills is saying, for the freshman schedule, would it be an MVC schedule, or would it be Pete Holmes, Waverly? Would it be a local schedule, or would it be directly MVC? Because in the past, I don't know that West or when East was in the Valley, that they played those teams consistently. It was mostly, local. So has there been any thought of those freshmen that are in the junior high building, playing a full MVC schedule, or would it be more,
I think it'll be a hybrid, honestly, because, for example, it will be in our boys basketball program's best interest, really, to play a lot of games against the MVC at the 9th grade level, because that helps them continue to prepare. Now, we will have 2 teams, so we'd be figuring out how to best schedule. A lot of the MVC schools have 2 9th grade basketball teams. They may have a green and a white team, or depending on what their colors are, a black and a red team, or something like that. But there'll also be a need and a desire to play some local teams in order to fill schedules and to finalize things with that. Volleyball, not decided or not certain, not as certain, just because of the nature of volleyball scheduling.
So I'm gonna say this, and I know you probably don't have an answer, but I want to just put it on your radar. So when you're having these AD meetings and you're talking to the different schools in the conference, I know the Waterloo Schools has experienced some controversial things in the past, traveling to different school sites. So how much conversation has been had on that, or how much conversation will be had? And I'm speaking directly about Dubuque and athletics, or some of the things that we've seen or heard in the past. Are those conversations being had at these AD meetings, or when we're talking about, this conference alignment and what that looks like? Because I don't think it's you know, it really hasn't been just one school, or it hasn't been one sport. You know, in the past 4 or 5 years, we've had conversations about this. So what does that look like with having conversations at AD meetings or with coaching staffs or schools directly tied to this conference?
So I know the situations that we've had in the past, you know, and it's continuing to work through those. And, you know, the hard part is, you know, you get the waves of situations that come and go. I mean, there's even at Carver, you know, we had to deal with a situation a couple years ago that wasn't well known. But it's, again, ensuring that our kids and coaches are equipped to handle the situations that come up, that they have the support of what it is. And, you know, and even to you look around the state right now, there's kind of a high profile situation going on down south. So Astor, I know what you're saying, you know, but we have our expectations and we know how we will respond to show our kids in our community that we're 100% gonna support our kids, even if other spaces make bad choices or try to represent in certain ways. Not that I want to forecast that or project that onto anybody, but I know how we've responded in the past. I know how even my own building, you know, when I was at Carver, we responded to ensure that our kids knew that that's any situations we will go to bat for them and make sure that they're taken care of and they're safe. And so to say that could be in one space or another, I don't want to put that out on anybody, because we can make a decision to go somewhere else and be a part of a different space and have our kids experience something that no one would want to have experienced. So I think that's kind of my way of just laying down the gauntlet that our community's got our kids back no matter what, and we'll respond accordingly to make sure that they know that.
I think I know what you're talking about, kind of. But since the AD meetings are happening, are those things addressed there? You know, like, are there different training and development things that could be happening within the different associations to make sure that we try to combat those things? Because I heard about a few things just being up in, you know, Waverly, some things had transpired. So I'm wondering if there might be some developmental things that we may be able to cast out within whatever, what is this, what do we call these? I'm sorry, my husband's a coach and I have no idea. Athletic, so whatever we decide, whatever the word is, whenever we decide, can we be proactive in these spaces than be reactive? I mean, you know, developmentally, there's some trainings for our coaches, our students, and our ADs in those spaces, just to be proactive, because this is going to be a big thing within our state all the way around, and we want to be prepared for that.
Yeah, and I think we got the perfect guy, you know, to help us tackle that in Tim Moses. I know he's nationally part of the athletic directors. I'm going to mess up his title, but I think there's some inclusion pieces in there that he is working even today. He just did a presentation at the conference this last weekend that does highlight and take on some of those things. So to Astor, to your point, you know, and even Crystal, I appreciate you guys pushing on this, because this is extremely important to make sure that Tim and Tom, as we're continuing down this journey, that we're also highlighting those things. And that was conversations that we've had as an athletic department. So I apologize if I misunderstood your question a little bit, Astor. But yes, 100%. You know, leveraging our experts that we have in-house to ensure that our kids and all the communities that we are part of have the tools and understanding to how we operate in the spaces that we walk in.
All right, anything else? Okay, so all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you, fellas. That brings us to the next item on our agenda, board policy changes, first reading. And this is just for information only. The following policies have been reviewed by the district leadership team and the policy review committee and are being presented for first reading. I'm gonna do it, it's short, so I'm reading them, first reading. Number 102.0, equal educational opportunity. Number 401.05, employee records. Number 401.12, employee use of cell phones. Number 402.01, release of credit information. Number 402.04, gifts to employees. Number 403.03, communicable diseases, employees. Number 403.04, hazardous chemical disclosure. And number 409.03, employee, family, and medical leave. And these are for information only. Our own Mrs. Pam Arndorfer can answer any questions. If you think of questions now within the next 2 weeks, she's also available by email and phone calls.
Okay.
I see it is.
Probably going to have to refer you to Sam.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Page 44 and 45. Which one of those is the recommended? I don't understand the difference between.
Yep, okay. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a difference as we're looking into Assembly right now. And I've got to figure out a way to better differentiate those. So if you look in your upper right-hand corner where it says Board Policy Manual, it'll say Waterloo Schools underneath there. That one is ours. That's our internal. The IASB one specifically says IASB Management Console.
Okay.
So ours will always be the first one.
And my question on this one is, does it comply with state law?
Yes.
You're sure?
Which one?
Based on what I am getting from IASB, who is changing it based on legislation.
You're asking if ours is law or the ISB one?
Are you asking, is the change?
Yeah, is as written here, as proposed,
On ours.
is it consistent with state law? If you could double check that, I'd appreciate that, because, and IASB is not the final arbitrator on that.
Are
Okay.
you specifically asking about the affirmative action coordinator, or which, is there anything in particular that you're questioning?
The what?
No, the,
Which
For
paragraph?
44?
Yeah, which paragraph?
the second paragraph,
Right,
the sexual orientation.
okay.
We kind of talked about this when we were in
Because the state,
policy review.
the state changed theirs, and I just want to make sure we're consistent with the state. That's my only question.
Yep.
Okay. Page, what's the next one here? Page 48. Is this proposed by IASB as well?
Yes, but we made that one change. Pam, do you want to tell them about the one thing that we had questions about?
But the proposed, 48 is a proposed, yeah, that's proposed.
Yes. So where's your?
My specific question is, it says school bus drivers are prohibited from using any communication device while operating the school bus. They can't use a navigation system like everybody else?
Or their CDs or radios?
But would that be considered a communication device, or would that
Well,
be considered
I think it needs,
Electronic, you want that
electronic
specified a
device?
little bit more?
yeah, I mean,
Because
I think they said, you could use the Navi, the tablets.
Well, they can also use the CB as well.
I don't think so.
I've seen on some of the buses, they, like, for example, if they didn't know what's what, they had it on their phone, but you was able to kind of have it up and post
Yeah.
it so they could
So
see
not-
so they wouldn't have to, handle the, they could get the directions from the phone.
So So
But
should
it
it be
was a-
hands-free?
Yeah, it was more like hands-free, yes.
I think we'll have to do a little bit more on that and
This-
get back
this-
to it with the new change in
Yeah.
Iowa law
Yeah.
with about hands-free, what's allowable by school bus drivers in terms of the CB. Some of them do have the tablets that they use for navigation and bus routes and all that, so we can get a little more specific
Okay.
on that.
Because this is pretty strict, prohibited from using cell phones while driving or, any communication device, except in case of emergency. If it's not an emergency, they can't even use their radios.
Yeah, but I think
Anyway,
it goes
yeah.
with
All right.
more of the state law where no handheld.
They're talking specifically cell phones,
Yeah,
but
so it has to be tied into your.
but it says now communication
Yeah,
device.
So we can rewrite to, yeah.
Yeah, because
Sam,
ISB
we'll work on that, Sam.
ISB wrote it that way, which is interesting.
Yep.
One of the things on page 50 in the middle, it says, this is the ISB, cell phones are not to be used for conversations involving confidential student or employee information. And we went back and forth on that and decided not to put that on ours, just simply because there's conversations that some people have to have. Like student services, there's times when they may need to call parent or whatever on a cell phone, so. But our lawyers, did our lawyers say anything about that one, or?
Yeah,
We vetted it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Sure did.
And
I don't know how I doubted it.
which one was that? Oh, man.
School bus drivers, we're just talking about school bus drivers. I got it.
I'm on to the next question. All right. Page 46. Employee records, second to the last paragraph. Should be submitted to the board secretary as custodian of district records. Should that be administrative assistant? I mean, as a board
The-
secretary, you don't, and then it says the board can't see the records. So if the board secretary can see the records, it seems like the board member should see the records.
The board secretary is the official holder of the records, the official custodian of school district records. So like even as far as like even JT, some of the records that he would have in his office, the board secretary is still held as the official custodian. So that's where like any public records request, any other type of request would come to this office. Is
As
that
board
answering,
secretary,
as
not-
board secretary?
Not as administrator.
Correct.
That seems strange to me.
Official custodian of all employee records, that was said.
Okay, it just seems odd.
Is that in there just to make it easier if people have to access their records?
So, yeah, so like typically any records request should go through
Yeah.
the board secretary. Now, yeah, does that always happen that way in a district of our size?
Right.
Probably not. Like somebody's not gonna, if I want to see a copy of my personnel file, they're not gonna come to me to see that. They're gonna go to HR to see that,
Right.
right? But yes, the board secretary is the official custodian of all of those documents.
Got it, Lee?
Interesting.
It's,
And that was just for information only, first reading.
Yeah, wait till next week.
wait till you see the 700s coming in. So
Uh-oh.
I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just pull, I'll double check on this. We'll pull this
Let me get
order
that.
button off.
All right, we ready to move forward?
Next meeting, because we're doing a lot of.
We ready to move forward? All right. So that ends our action items for the evening, and now on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Smith.
Yes. All right, got a few things here. First and foremost, really enjoyed the presentations tonight. Those are always
Yeah.
remind us of why we're here. Just some amazing, and again, the board has had a chance to get into some buildings, but just you could see a lot of the Leader in Me stuff in both presentations. You heard Lighthouse teams, you heard Wig Catcher, you heard and just really speaks to like some of the leadership structures and systems we have in place that are just second to none and just super impressive. So I already emailed both principals, but both did a great job and prepared their students to do it. It's always fun to have the kids here. So hot off the press, I just got this as we were in our meeting earlier, and I can't share the actual numbers because they're embargoed, but we got really good news on grad rates and dropout rates from the state. And those, I'll be able to give you the official numbers here soon. But, and I can't really, again, they're embargoed, but positive news, 3 years in a row of improvements on grad rates and dropout rates. So something to be super proud of in terms of the work we're doing at the secondary level. Well, across the district, but in the high schools especially. Don't forget, tomorrow night, we've got our school boundaries work session. We've really been working hard to present some information for you guys. It has been and to be clear, school boundaries, as we talk about the new high school, that means Central is going to be offline. And so what does that mean for those students? And Lyle's done a great job of saying, hey, is this an opportunity for us to think bigger than just Central? And so we have spent a lot of time as a leadership team the last month putting our heads together about what, looking at Lyle's feedback, also weighing a bunch of different options. So what I'm saying is tomorrow night, work session. I think we're in here at 4:00. So anybody from the work session means anybody can come and listen. It's in 110. Okay, so I take back those comments in terms of the whole community. But no, if the community wants to come and watch, they certainly can. We're going to just go over some important information. Sue Little has actually got an amazing presentation she put together for you guys to kind of show you the complexity of looking at boundaries and what that means. So we will show that to you guys. And last but not least, another hot off the press thing, again, is there is a Titans clothing store that we've been working on to get permanent with all the things. And we've got just a huge selection. We'll be dropping at some point this week for the entire community. It'll be permanent. I was just looking at some of the items, and there is some really cool Titan swag that will be hot off the press here. So we're excited to get that out there. So keep your eyes and ears tuned for that. Those are my updates.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Smith. We're going to start to my right this evening with Director Cox.
All right. Well, I think over the past times I've mentioned that I've pretty much kind of mentioned about teachers, supporting our teachers, and also engaging our families. I was just doing a little bit of research and mentioned about 70%, and this is the state of Iowa, 70% of fourth graders lack proficiency in reading. So when you have that, I just want to just send a focus out there. This was a statewide number. I just want to put some kudos out there because I think there are some areas that are doing great. We just make sure we keep things in perspective, because when you don't have that, then you come into the student behaviors and safety aspect. And so when you come into those particular areas, we need to make sure when we're thinking about that equal education, making sure our kids getting in the right spot, making sure the teachers are in the right spot for those students. We just can't say someone's qualified and they don't have the personality to deal with the students that they need to deal with. And, that kind of runs into the classroom management aspect. We got to make sure we are continually helping our teachers with classroom management. This is more of information based. This is not saying what we're not doing. This is just some encouraging things just to keep going, encouraging the district to keep doing. We have to find a way. in order for this district to be the district that it needs to be, we have to engage our families. We have to. So, I'm putting it out there for parents. You have to get engaged. And we as a district have to make sure that once you're engaged, you're part of the student learning for your kid. These moves of here making to the one school and that kind of stuff, we actually have a chance to really make this district 10, 15 years down the road a great district. Other than that, I would just have to say that, let's make sure we're still preparing our teachers of, it's hard, sometimes classrooms are hard. And so let's make sure our school administrators are being very encouraging and uplifting, because the mental aspect is real in our school and for our teachers. And so I don't want to ignore that. We got a lot of great things going on, but I also don't want to ignore some of those other things. Other than that, I think that they're getting into the new sports track and all that kind of thing. So looking forward to seeing some of the kids out there doing their thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Cox. Director Matlock.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. To start this meeting out the way we did with the school presentations, it was a reminder. It was totally a reminder for me why I've been in education for so long and why I chose to sit in this seat, to be elected into this seat. Thank you. Thank you to the administrators. Thank you to the principals, the parents. That I wish I would have said it before. The parents, the students. I mean, that right there, they are walking out the leader in me. I had that in my home. I say it to Ahmad, and he's 22, about seek first to understand, then to be understood, and all these things. And these kids tonight are models and they're mentors. And I can't wait to see those fifth graders in middle school, wherever they're going. It's great. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that came tonight to support your kids. That's why I do the things I do and why you do the things you do. So I just want to say thank you. This is a thankless job. I think I mentioned it before. This is a thankless job, and I just want to say thank you. Tonight was awesome. Keep them coming. Keep reminding me when we have these hard meetings and have to sit and make these tough decisions. Please keep reminding me the reason we're doing this for these students. We're doing these things for the students. We have to make tough decisions. We can do hard things, and it breaks my heart every time, but I was also almost in tears to watch these kids sit up here and do the things that they did. And I don't know if as I get older, I don't know if I'm getting more emotional or what, but I was literally tearing up just to see the good things that the Waterloo Community Schools is doing, and we need to be reminded of that. So I appreciate the thank you tonight.
Thank you, Director Matlock. Before I get over here, because I'll probably forget. That's once you get a little seasoned. I'll remember. I'll write it down. I'll write it down. You get a little seasoned, yeah. Director Mills.
Thank you. I have a couple things. So first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the tax rate, and then like the letter that everyone would have received if you're a homeowner in Waterloo, explaining what the tax levies are. So with the Waterloo schools, we are not changing our tax rate at all. Ours is staying the same. If you look under the reasons for proposed property, it talks about essentially that proposed property tax, anyway, it goes up a little bit simply because houses are being assessed a little bit higher, but ours is no change. The county and the city are changing theirs, and they have some of the same issues we do, which are increased personnel costs, increased commodity/contracted costs, increased operational costs, increased workers' compensation insurance and liability insurance, less or decreased grant funds, etc. So I just want to use that as thank you to our district leadership for making a commitment for us to stay at the tax levy rate we are, even though it hurts. It shows that we are proactive, not reactive, and that you guys are really looking at the different areas that you can to create your plan. I just wanted to acknowledge that when you read this, because the Waterloo Schools is the first one that's in there when you get your letter, and it's encouraging, I think, for people to see that we are doing what we can to keep their tax rate reasonable. Second, I have little packets for my fellow board members and for the DLT up here. I will pass these around. These are a proposal I had put together and sent to each of you about some board communication, growth and development, essentially just some workshops we can start doing and things we can start getting educating ourselves more on. So all I ask is if you could all look at them, and if you have any comments, suggestions, or critiques, please let our board leadership know, because they're going to be the ones who are going to be working with Jared and the rest of us to create these plans of what we're going to do next. But I feel really good that we are working hard to do everything we can to be the best board we can, to support our DLT the best we can, to support our staff the best we can, and to support our students the best we can. So, thank you.
Thank you, Director Mills. Director Knight.
Well, temperatures are getting a little bit nicer, and just thinking ahead, well, they are getting better. It may not, it's relative, right? But, if we think about our goals with chronic absenteeism and stuff, and try to make sure that we're reminding families, the weather's nice, but, we still get kids in school, make sure we're not like, oh, it's a nice day, we're just going to take off, but we need, we need them in the classrooms that can get their educational time, and maybe some reminders that, we have a full schedule here until early June, so.
Thank you, Director Knight. Director Schmidt.
And just a few items. The first one, I want to underscore what Stacy just said, and that is that this current year, the Waterloo Schools levy, property tax levy, 16.74 mils. Next year, 16.74 mils. So, the kids, the camaraderie was just super. That they took such ownership in their jobs. We have this job and we're doing that, and you could just tell if somebody didn't do their job, somebody else was gonna remind them. So that was fantastic. Congratulations, Jonathan. And even though I consider the city, everybody knows I'm not a fan of roundabouts, but the city was really good to work with, especially Jamie, so appreciate that. And just lastly, all these articles about different districts, having a long-term strategy to work within has really been a blessing. And so we're struggling, but with the framework of our long-term strategy, it's, I would say, a lot less than others. And we can direct resources much, much better within that long-term strategy than if we didn't have it. So I think it was just a real good situation we're in regarding our long-term strategy.
Thank you, Director Schmidt. I just have a few things. One, I don't know if Director Matlock has heard me say this, but I used to say it all the time. And this is actually my third term on the board, but I used to always get asked the question, what's the best what do you like most about being on the board? And it's almost a loaded question because I don't know that there's much to like about being on the board. But the number one thing is being able to celebrate the accomplishments of the people in our district, whether it's staff, students, administrators. But I'm in youth development. And I think we're all here with a goal of trying to put our students in the best position to succeed and become active members of a community. We love them to be in our community, but if they decide to go to another community, we support them as well. But that's why we do this work, to see what we saw today. And that's the best part, being able to sit behind this desk and see students, that are prepared but are still growing, especially at an early age as elementary school. And I had to lean over to Pam, and I said, "Is that a child in the corner?" Because I couldn't see it, and I thought I seen one of the students go in that corner, but I seen some arms hugging their peers when every time somebody came from speaking from that podium, there was a person in that corner that gave a hug, and the gentleman that was sitting in the first seat gave a pound or a dap. And then if you notice, when they stood they stood in unison. They were all together. Color didn't matter. Socioeconomic status. They were all one. And I don't want to say sometimes, all the time, we can look at students and learn a whole lot because they're pure. They're pure. And it melted and that's not taking away anything from anyone else that has done a presentation or any other school building, because I love them all. But sometimes you need those reminders. Sometimes when you see it, and some of the things that we're experiencing in our country, or within our community, the more you see it, and you need those reminders. We're all different. We're all pretty unique. But to see something like that and it just gives you a warm feeling, and it just lets me know that we're going in the right direction with our students. So I'm gonna have a good evening tonight just based off of that, because it's a challenge. But that goes for everybody within a listening ear, everybody in our community, everybody within the school district. Just be kind, be nice, be supportive. It's a lot easier and a lot better when we're all working together and caring about your neighbor. As we go forward, we're we're having these conversations, but we can still have them. We're about to embark onto something that is, in my opinion, and it's okay for I to state my opinion, the biggest thing that Waterloo has seen, and it's going to take everyone working together to make this work. It is. So I'll give you a few dates because I believe we have some things coming up, and then we'll get out of here. The next time we'll be in this room, as Dr. Smith mentioned, the board work session, School Boundaries, tomorrow at 4 p.m. April 3rd, this Friday, no school, all offices and buildings are closed. Keep your children at home with you. We'll see them on Monday. The next time we're in this room for a board meeting is on April 13th at 5 p.m. Is there anything else any board members have that I may have been remiss to talk about? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.